Hey everyone, my novel came out 2 months ago, so I wanted to celebrate a little bit and read the first 5 pages for you. My novel is Demons of Eminence, and it's available through the Fellow Traveler series, and it's being bound and published in upstate New York in Troy out of Publication Studios Hudson. And it's also available as a PDF and all that. Thank you for everyone for buying it, wanting to buy it, supporting it, and I'm just really excited for it to be out in the world. It's about my where I'm from, about the Inland Empire. Though the book is actually told through the eyes of a journalist, of a nurse that moves there at the start of the pandemic temporarily. All right, so this is the first 5 pages of Bloodsport, and you actually could read the whole first chapter from. It was published in Your Impossible Voice, so I'll also share a link with that. Chapter one, Bloodsport. As the pandemic began, I switched to being a travel nurse. Like all healthcare workers, I received the vaccine early, but only after a whole trip to Los Angeles. It was almost unbearable without it. Honestly, when they had us first working on on the sick and unvaccinated, rigged up to shitty ventilators from the 80s, I was like, no way. I barely had it in me to argue with the families of patients about why the vaccine would not help after they got COVID. I wasn't built for any line of work. It was a good time to leave upstate New York. My job came with a mess of corporate pressures and the union corralling everyone for better or worse to get behind real and staged negotiations. I started applying to places in San Francisco, San Diego, and Los Angeles. The day after I put in my application online, I heard back from a clinic in a city called San Bernardino, 2 hours east of Los Angeles. I didn't know anyone there, only a friend of a friend who I met outside of a party called Chical Cumbia at a rundown disco in Silver Lake. And he ended up being the only person I lost during the pandemic. He was not killed by the virus, but by his younger brother probably, or some of his younger brother's friends. Ray, he was the definition of loser. I glorify him, as many of us did. He even earned the name Sheep King because he did not look like Jesus, but the party cousin of the Virgin of Guadalupe. When I drive home, I go by the aqueduct off the 10 near the 215 junction in Colton. There have to be a few people that live down there. I see some of them, or their belongings, every day. In the distance, you recognize them among the vegetation and the debris of the color of their skin and the hair above their shirts. Or it might be clothes caught in a broken chair. I like to imagine Ray living down there, his ever slim body even more lank, modeled at the hair modeled at the end with burrs. His fate in the industrialized suburbs of Southern California suits him. Dead or vanished, most likely forever gone. Maybe he got lucky. The rest of us go on with our overrated jobs and souped up virtual existence. Ray would have wanted to die without fanfare in a county field. He would be happy with maybe a shout out at a circuit party when everyone was on coke and molly and rowdy in the dark room. This workaday life is an evil we will never overcome. A community college student ended up in the ICU with monkeypox, COVID, chlamydia, and an infected nose piercing. It is for queers like them that I read all this. Weeks after Ray disappeared, a family member of an ICU patient brought him up. The family member had recognized me from one of some Comandante Ray's parties. He told me to check on Ray, who had seemed unhinged and then quiet. On social media, everyone was encouraging everyone to kill their local promoter. Teenagers donned oversized shirts of Che, who needs to be canceled. Beyonce's song Thick has a riffed sample from a house or disco song that Ray would have been able to place. People who happened to get Elena's number would ask about the next party. It was nice talking to her when I got off of work. My colleagues lived in garages or hotel rooms. Every day they woke up, worked, and then rested. Around my people, it almost feels like it could scrap this whole nursing thing and join a cum dump gang. It takes no effort to sort through the work failures and regrets, the rage of patients, the lack of staff, the prod of administration, whose emails I fixate on like rat drug cheese. I relived that night at Filth when Ray held me as we talked to hot bears, downing chili dogs, and I nearly passed out on a microdose of GHB. Ray dwells in that haze of pleasure. Most of us will remember him as a Latino daddy with an OnlyFans and a red pinup girl hat. Ragers are what I live for. In a world of a million pleasures, they're the only thing that always makes me happy. Whenever I come across some wrecked twunk or femme Latino seeking treatment, I feel an extraordinary sense of purpose. It is erotic, it is paternal, it is bizarre. Like others might ask, where did you get so messed up? At Target? At Ontario Mills? In the parking lot of a megachurch? Church? They cannot imagine what happens at a gay rager. When they end up at my work, I'm happy to know that they found theirs in the shopping centers, the gang hype, the warehouses, the celebrity culture. Family life is only a black drop, something foreign to the dreams of guys I have known and loved. They hold their kids close as an anchor against real urges and feelings. Passing a bachelor or even a leathered up whore like myself makes them sad. My coworker asked me for my perspective when a local teacher got fired from his OnlyFans. I said something professional. I trust no one at work, except Pallavi. That dude actually earned a living, and the real scandal is the school loses a willing, hot teacher who gets more ass than the hags who ratted on him, as well as the lawyers that annihilated him. That is, unless one of those lawyers is an alpha fag. I doubt it. Corporate homos do not live in the Inland Empire. Every trespass against hot men is noted in the hearts of all men. Society can retaliate against this or that debt-ridden fool, but it will never go after toxic hotness, because hotness is the bedrock of modern straight life. Everyone, even genderqueer, reckons with this sooner or later, even if they don't go for hot guys. Anyone with enough muscle can attract a following. They can abuse in one town and find community in another. Yearning and horniness, gross in any workplace, are filtered through a cybergeography of gaydom, a stream of semi-naked and naked men, not crushes, not friends, but followers and fans. Hovering over these thirst traps allows a gay to expand, to evolve like everything else in this cold, expensive universe. There is nothing like a crowd of gays waiting to climb each other on a rooftop, on the overgrown trails of the bluffs near where I used to live, guys standing there, kind of dancing as what is about to happen starts to gel. Then it is like watching one of those neon signs on a timer, the different parts illuminating before and after until everyone scatters into the apartments, suburbs, bathhouses, families, cages, the hills. The guys I vibe with are not so much horny. I'm not so much hot as much as horny. The guys I vibe with are not hot so much as horny. The bridges we make, the veggies we guzzle, the freak accidents that we see on TV, a horny homo was behind it, bet. If you want to feel something real, you have to get dirty like it's a November morning in a minor city. The two guys from yesterday fuck in the trailer. You can't remember their names or the location of the trailer park, which was freshly paved and lit like snack bars. Blackout, a mature drunk, a mature gay would dominate you just as likely as leave you butt naked on the side of the road. This tension is scripted into pre-digital pornos. The interview ends with the candidate getting roasted. The paint job goes unpaid. A spacious garage with no one around. The delivery takes longer and longer. Horny, sweaty guys, seemingly without mystery, loitering like certain touristy states, Nevada, Florida, hypnotize me as much as morning commuters. Dancers are doomed to dance with the rest of us. Pharmacists have taken over with their meek-ass hands. Beautiful men terrify me. It feels divine when they arrive in a harness, when they're straight up about it, until the very, very end of life. Gays don't rot. We're cats in all the mayhem. I don't know, as I have said, whether following so many gym dudes constitutes anything real. I kind of feel that those horny ones are down, rowdy like Mexicans in a traffic jam. They are attractive because their coldness continues with me, a dude who is just willing. Sucias on my feed promote clubs and parties I've never heard of. Lawyers, architects, designers, bartenders, most have corporate gigs. Or you never really know what they do. Mystery teams churning through city after city. I don't get marriage. Orgies are the only real course for the pettiness and pressure that legacy institutions inflict. Romance is real, but its mysteries are, no offense, for poets who can't get any. No meaning attaches to sex between guys. For the record, I keep falling for unavailable mofos. One is married, one is a lone wolf, one is my neighbor, and I'm not their type. Standing in the bathroom, I yearn for them. When we actually fuck, I make them feel invincible. I like that they're a little mean to me. As a nurse, I can tell you this is what we all want. Each time we rage, something gets inscribed. I walk around before going out solo, and I always meet people. You were on Christopher Street, coming the opposite way. I kept myself from tripping. We froze when we met. I rubbed your chest. You pulled my hips between yours. I felt your chode. You put your hand on my throat, and the other you wrapped around the back of my job. The other you wrapped around the back of my job, around your fist. Back of my jock. My tongue was in your mouth. It languished like a singer running out of steam. You grabbed my ass and then pushed my head down. When you had enough, you put it away, then raised me, inspected my face, and waited until I made eye contact. Half my closet is the kink Ray gave me before he left. It would have gone to Elena, but she doesn't have a dick. I have not worn any of it yet. It feels like sweet revenge to go out dressed like a whore. Most of my exes are probably having better luck. Scrubs take out the other half of my closet. I painted my bedroom when I moved in with Elena and aggressively installed Norwegian rails for my clothes. The rest of my flat is straight IKEA. I don't do much in it but sleep. Although I partied throughout grad school, I was still scrummaging socials for gay ragers, even in places I haven't been to yet, like Roma North and Fire Island. Booty shorts and smiling a lot at the club have gotten me far. When I cannot think, I slip myself some extra vet medication. My friends in college would be all over this. We were not actually friends. We just did drugs together. I wish I had more passions other than medicine. Something more creative. I could see myself on Gaga's team or at Prada or even as a curator. From what I can tell, though, this first profession suits many of us who are never close to our families or down for God. Perhaps that explains why I have no patience for the wounded, angsty dads or their senile sorority types grappling with blame and bills. The waterfall of gin I downed each weekend was to lose these ghosts. For a baby gay, the heart is the ultimate cockblocker. The hairy Latinos, the bear daddies, the alphas I get with because we go to the same sex parties. There's a riff in a Beyonce song that's divine, one I imagine carries every other raver through the day. We were all toxic in real life. I need to operate in a way that leads me to complaining less, to not ruminate over what's messed up. I'm a nerd, empathetic to whatever I dive into. I think this was why work was killing me. All right. Well, that's the first 5 pages or so. Thank you for checking this out and supporting the book, and have a good rest of your week.